Thank you for staying with us.
So I was going to respond to you when you asked the question about how to raise our boy, boy.
Yes,
I think that was the question these days that, I think that we should raise our boys to, yes, to control themselves, to not show anger, but we cannot raise them to be so scared that they tolerate this kind of treatment.
We all agree on that.
It shouldn't be. You should carry yourself in such a way, whether you're in love or not in love with somebody, nobody sees you as someone that can easily be intimidated. And when you raise a boy confident, confident, well aware of himself, somebody that knows how to express themselves, that's what is important for the new world that we are in now. You need to raise those boys, whether we like it or not. We cannot raise our boys off of social media videos, just like the lecturer did. You don't need this one case in question to tell your boy how to react. You'd have raised your boy in such a way, whether or not this were happening in your lifetime or you were there or you were not there, he would know how to prevent it. It will not even happen.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
There was a story that went viral. This actor, Tayo, made a video of him saying he was extremely tired. He had been shooting since morning. Explained the fact that he wanted to go and sleep and his drive was still far. Like the set to where he's living is a distance that he should let him go. And apparently a car had blocked him. One of the producer of the sets of the movie had blocked Peggy, had blocked
while he was driving.
While he was driving, blocked him, so he couldn't drive away. So he got down, went into the car that he was going to start the lady's car, drive it out so he can move that. I want to go home. I'm already said I'm tired. Long and short is, the camera went off. It was still on, but we heard a scuffle and he ended up showing us bloody mouth from the situation. And while Peggy, the lady that produced, had her own version of the story of how the violence happened, we see the society that we have, that when every aggression, every misunderstanding, if we allow to resort to violence, we will not want to live in a country like that. Thank you,
Tope. We'll continue with that. Let me just take this call quickly. Sheena from Ogun State. Good morning, Sheena. Oh, sorry, we lost it. So
my thought is we should not allow, we don't want to live in a country where the first, like we are having a conversation and everything is about, if you give it to me, I give it to you. And we've discussed that and established that enough. We've seen where that play out. We've seen, like Muyo has been saying over and over again, what if you just punch? You think they punch me, I punch the person back, and the person you punch just went down and died. That wasn't your intention. Your intention was just to, this must never happen to me again, but then you have killed somebody. How? There's no way you explain it. Somebody is dead. So we need to get back into a place where civilness is appreciated. It's not seen as being weak. Being civil is seen as being civil, not a weakness. And it will be like I'm going back to system and we're repeating ourselves, but that's really the way forward.
So I like that you brought this, right? And let's paint this scenario. So usually when we talk about violence, we usually suspect the man of the one who, commits violence. We blame the man. If there's an altercation, usually we don't really ask questions. If there's a man and woman involved, the man usually gets blamed for violence. But what we're seeing now in many instances is that there's a scenario where women are actually the violent ones. They are the ones that are provoking and being violent. And I think that's why the question is, this lecturer, is she completely wrong if she's saying, I'm noticing that women are acting a certain way?
Why are they acting that way, Mariam?
No, I don't know. So we can talk about why they are acting this way.
I can answer.
Because secondly, I have
that.
heard women talk about men who show this self-respect and civility and respect as being weak.
Get local language.
But the truth is, this story you have just explained showed a woman who was violent towards a man and also made a video accusing the man of violence until CCTV camera actually showed she was the one that committed the offense. So my own is now, let's make it about gender. Are we seeing a crop of women who are quite violent and hiding under their gender as if they're innocent?
Yes.
And if that's the truth, what do we tell these men of today?
So it is not new. It's always been that some women will be evil enough to use their femininity to their advantage. I just said it here. You can use it to make or ruin a nation. Or you can use it to make or ruin a family while you're soft-spoken, while you're very respectful, deferring. Okay, go on.
Let me take Vamero from Bielsa. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Vamero. We can hear you.
Yes, the first time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, my contribution concerning this. And now, I want to say, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I want to say you cannot judge based on one-time scenario. Okay. Now, for the guy, we can't totally say he is a gentleman because he did not retaliate. Because this happened in the public. If this had happened in a closed door, we wouldn't know how he would have reacted. But for the lady, I also read somewhere that she had told him severally that she doesn't want, and he kept on persisting. And so that must have made her to react that way, which is not right. I wouldn't say she is right for reacting that way. But if somebody keeps on pushing you when you have told the person no, like 1, 2, 3 times, and the person keeps on, you just react there. The way you react, like in the public, you just, please, can you leave me alone, or something like that. So
okay,
both of them
were wrong. Vamero, can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
If your brother were to, if you have a brother, I don't know, a male relative that you love, you saw a video of him proposing to somebody and the person slapped him, please tell me, can you honestly tell me what you would advise him to do?
I can hardly hear you.
If your brother,
I can't hear you.
All right.
I can't hear you.
So sorry about that, Vamero. But
Thank
if
you.
we have viewers, if you can hear the question, please send us tubes. Let's see how you respond to that. Mm-hmm.
So I was saying that, you can have some soft-spoken women, feminine enough to use their feminine side for evil, and they would execute it so well. You come in, their demeanor, everything will show that, that this weaker one, why they carry out such huge damage. We've seen them. We recently took one yesterday, and it happens because we also have a society where we have shamed men's reaction to anger. If a man were provoked violently, there's a way they use it, they'll say, no, a man's punch is as a woman's tongue. So a woman can provoke a man by insulting the daylight out of him, talk him to death, demean him with her tongue, and will say she did it, but she didn't slap you now. Whereas, that can damage a man to suicide. That's, one of the extremes that we have seen. But we excuse it because, what did she call? Now you weak, oh, now what did she tell you rich like that? Because we are no longer raising balanced individuals. A man should not be shamed from reacting, and his reaction does not have to be violent. His reaction can be, just as Tokpa and Moyo had suggested, even though I was disagreeing, to step out and follow through a court process that makes sure that she pays something for that assault that she did. Including if it was a criminal trial, she serves the time. Not because she's a woman should she be saying, kilo, throw. Such excuses is why society is permissive of this kind of violence. She just cursed your mama, for cursed her own back. Or she called you a bastard, and so what? It's just a word. So
you're saying that we're seeing more of this sort of women
we've been permissive of women's violence, whether verbal, whether physical, or anyhow. And shamed men's reaction.
So I would just say choosing to rise above the actions of others actually demonstrates self-control, resilience, maturity, and your own moral upbringing. Do you understand? Choosing to rise above the actions of others. You can't predict what people will do, but you can always predict how you will react.
Moyo, please, sorry, let me just cut you off here. Let me take Joy from Ikorodu, then we'll continue. Joy, good morning. Good morning, Joy. Oh, looks like we lost her. Okay, Moyo, please.
So, I would say that sometimes our reaction or our silence or our patience looks like maybe we are being full, but sometimes it just escalates the whole issue from compounding further or becoming something of had I known. I wish a lot of people are locked up in prison just because they do not have self-control or just one. I'll give a brief example. two neighbors were fighting. They were insulting each other. And I was like, I will deal with you. That was all. They insulted each other. I said, I will deal with you. Only for the man to go to, is a public, face my face. So the man went to the toilet, he slipped, he fell. But the person that discovered him was the person he fought with. And everybody said, oh, you are the person that killed the man. And they prisoned the man. The man was in prison for 17 years. Inside the prison, they eventually, they stabbed him, like they injured him.
Yeah.
He became blind. Eventually, they fought for him. He came out and he said he wasn't guilty about the whole thing, but he has suffered just because of that. I will deal with you. You will see. Is it me you are talking to everybody?
When you describe it that way, it almost seems that we should not stand up for our right at
I'm
all.
not saying don't stand up for your right, but
but
if
you know,
you
as I was
can,
saying, is there a reason why we are seeing?
So let me to answer your question. We have more violent women because many women nowadays have seen their mothers beaten. We grew up in a society where women were beating black and blue to death. So we now have a new generation of women who say, you will not do that to me.
Yeah, let me take Elvis. We're about to enter something interesting. Elvis, though. Good morning, Elvis.
Yes, good morning, your ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies.
My view on it is, I was raised by a mom that she's a no-nonsense woman. She's a very tough woman, and my growing up, I realized that there are a lot of things that you don't have to act like you maybe you are gentle or something. Because a lot of time being gentle has not solved a lot of things for me. But the other way, not being violent, but at least like letting the person know their boundaries. I'll give you an example. I'm married 5 years now. The person I'm dating, I was dating before I got married to her. She's a tough person too. There was a day she slapped me in public, and I gave her 2 hot slaps immediately. And I feel that day it reset her memory, and 5 years now, she has never even raised her voice at me. Not to talk of even slapping me. She's calm. If she doesn't, she might do the whole strong woman and everything outside to outsiders and all that. But when it comes to me, she doesn't do it with me.
Wow.
So, and I've never been a maybe lady beater, lady slapper until that day. And I had to reset and let her know that she shouldn't try it again. So, that's my take.
Thank you, Elvis,
But you
for
could
your
have,
contribution.
don't reset it without a slap.
Please. I mean, let me just. Our caller. The Lord is your strength. I cannot even say anything concerning your matter because let's go back to why women are more violent.
Yeah.
Let's talk about why we are seeing more violent women, more financially ambitious women,
Empowered as well.
and financially empowered women. It's because for a long time women have been oppressed. Women don't have money. Women stay in abusive relationships because they don't have any other option. They don't have money. They don't have where to go to. So we now have raised a new generation of women who despise being feminine and want to be masculine. They want to make money like the men. They want to have strength like the men. They will not let any man talk down at them. And so we haven't solved the problem. Yeah. We just created another monster.
A set of mentally...
So I am of the opinion that what we are seeing in this society is a reaction like what the lecturer did. Where where parents, rather than encouraging emotional intelligence, encourage a response of violence. And so we now have more violent women as opposed to before when all women were gentle. Women were gentle and women were meant to be like, I'm very gentle, I'm humble, I listen, I obey and all of that. Then we now went to the extreme. How do we resolve this situation? Back to the story from the beginning. Emotional intelligence, self-control, civility, strengthen the system so that people don't have to take laws into their hand because they feel like if they go to court or they prosecute, it will not get resolved. That is how we get a balance where nobody pushes or oppresses another person. So for a long time, women felt they were being oppressed by men, and now they are now trying to do equally as much as that. So we are not having situations like this.
Sorry, Moyo, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thank you. Thank you for staying with us. I think it was Tope that was still talking about
So
women.
We have discussed this thing. That last caller's Kini, but it's still reverberating in my head. And during the break, I gave a gist. I've heard it the other way around, where a man tried to slap
His wife.
He not even tried. He slapped his wife, and then his wife, they beat him. They slapped each other back, and then 20 years after, they've never beat each other again.
Wow.
So when I hear things like, oh, I use it to reset the head or something, I just always feel funny, like, maybe no violence is our best way to reset situation, because what we will now have is proliferation of these things continuing to happen. Let's find other ways to discuss it, and that carries the weight of the impact of what is going on.
And then, just to even buttress your point, I've heard of some people who said just the fact that he raised his hand up like he was about to slap me, that ended that relationship.
Yeah.
So some people would not accept it. They would leave that relationship. So violence is not the way.
But if you look at it culturally, or the norm, or our mothers back then, most of the time when you complain about being beaten or assaulted in your marriage with your husband, they'll say that is what he's using to correct you. He's only just trying to correct you. So why are you seeing it as a big deal? Do you understand? A man is beating up the wife, and you go to court and complain to your family. They say, when you are stubborn now, that's why he's beating you. So I agree with her when she said a lot of women are now coming out to say, no, I won't take this anymore. What my mother suffered, I will not suffer it anymore, So I totally agree with that one. But I still will want us to try as much as possible to be civil. Sometimes violence doesn't pay. Sometimes just diffusing the situation by walking
to more violence.
So just walk away if possible.
So I have a personal experience. My auntie used to be abused in her marriage. And it was a popular thing, because the news would get to us. She'll come with black eye. She lives with this scar today in her old age. And my dad used to be very pained at seeing his sister being handled in such a way. And I remember him saying at one point, I know you're not a weakling. We raised you to be a feminine woman. That's why this is happening. I permit you to retaliate. I remember it. It empowered me. Just the small child I was then, I think I was about 7 or 8 years old, listening to them, said, I permit you, when he does that to you next time, beat him back. I'll buy his family a goat, which is tradition.
Okay.
Beat him back. And the one time my auntie retaliated ended all the years of violence. One time.
Was it because then divorce was not acceptable? Because
they were divorced because his ego could not handle being beaten like that by a woman. His sisters came. The sisters who never spoke about the abuse all the years came with broom traditionally to sweep her legs out, that, this will end the marriage. And my father said, if this is how he wants to end it, because one time you retaliated, then come home. But it empowered us who were watching to know what to draw the line, what to not permit. My auntie was constantly, weekly, not only emotionally abused, physically abused. The women in the house, he could bring a slot to the house any time he liked, and if she were to question it, it would result in beating.
Wow.
So this was just to buttress Tope's argument, that women who watched this over the years grew up to be more strong. I think that's where I would never, my strong stand. But my auntie didn't change. She didn't lose her femininity. She's still the softest person I know, kindest person I know till date, and she survived the divorce.
So now we're talking about an imbalanced society. So at first there was the imbalance where the men would just, be violent towards women. Women were meant to accept it. Over time, they have become more empowered. But we have still, we've gone to the other extreme.
That's what
we're looking for now is how to have more balance. So now it comes to the question.
We also question
that example that you gave. What do you think would have been a different advice that would have still empowered you, but not taught you that, but not making her have to be violent towards her husband?
She wouldn't have had to defend herself ever.
Okay.
I would have loved that, the divorce happened without her having to defend herself. But without her retaliating, I would never even know what she would do, because ordinarily she sat down to the beating every time. So even if she was to divorce...
So what I'm asking is, couldn't she have been advised to leave the house much earlier than,
And she wouldn't have taken the advice. That's where the point was.
Okay.
She would, even when she was being divorced, I remember her crying.
Wow.
And she was crying as she was leaving. because she didn't know how the kids, and you know, and the stigma of being divorced a second time.
That's what I'm saying.
So she had been divorced the first time,
Uh-huh.
and she didn't want to be divorced the second time. So she would have put up in the name of marriage with it.
Anything.
So it had to come from a place of, then do not take this. This has to stop. And when she attempted to stop it by, you know, resetting that kind of
The man is the one that now
the
pushed
sisters thought, oh, you rubbished his ego. And so society is just not balanced. What we need is to raise balanced people that is okay to enjoy a woman's softness without abusing it, without considering it a weakness. You want to, and you know, our men they are, what's the word? They are too in on respect. A man wants a woman who speaks to him kindly, defers to him, respects him, and then you want to come and consider that an excuse to abuse her. You know,
Ladies?
Honestly, to answer the final question and the final note, I would say that
This one.
2 wrongs don't make it right. It might make you feel good that you fought back, but it doesn't solve the problem. And that's where we are. Women have fought back a bit, but it did not solve the problem. What will solve the problem is for us to respect one another, appreciate the strength of each party, and not be competing with one another, but support one another to build a more peaceful society. That's the final.
Yes, so thank you so much, ladies, for another interesting conversation today. And to our viewers, hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did. And then join us tomorrow for another interesting show. Tomorrow is Saturday Pidgin. So join us tomorrow for Saturday, and we'll see you again. Bye for now.